Hi, Harrison here at Assured Estate Agents, and you're watching our third video today in our 6 steps to becoming a non-resident landlord here in the UK. So if you've been watching the other videos, up to now we've touched on how to find a property through a sourcer, an agent or DIY. In the second video, we talked about funds, so the different funds options available, whether that's going to be cash, mortgage or bridging finance. And then today's video, we're going to be talking about the next step in your journey in the purchase of your property, and that is solicitors. So here in the UK, every single property purchase must go through a conveyancer. So that's generally a solicitor or a licensed conveyancer. So most licensed conveyancers will work within a solicitor's setting. Now, it's a regulated activity, so you can't just use anybody, which is slightly different to some other properties in different countries. So finding a solicitor is really important part of your purchasing process. Of course, we want to watch our bottom line. We want to make sure that we're not spending too much money because, you know, cash is king and the budget is really important. However, out of all the steps in this purchase process, finding a solicitor is a very important one. So we don't want to go with the cheapest available on the market. And the primary reason why we don't want to go with the cheapest is because if they're selling their product for £400-500 to conveyance the purchase of your property, that means that they have to have a vast amount of clients to be able to make any money, because solicitors are in the UK are paid quite high, conveyancers are on really good salaries, overheads are much higher for indemnity insurance and running costs. So you really need to ask yourself, if your solicitor firm is charging you a very small fee, then how are they sustaining themselves as a business? And the answer to that is they need lots and lots, hundreds of instructions, which ultimately means that the service that you'll receive won't be very good at all, and the process will be much longer. As an estate agent is only about 20% of our business, but when we deal with purchases and we deal with our client solicitors, some of them we find that the better ones are the ones that charge the client a slightly higher fee because they have less workload to deal with. And we find that the rubbish ones, the ones that take a long time or don't do a very good job, are the ones who charge the lowest fees. So it's really important, and I can't stress it enough, don't go with the cheapest option. But equally, you don't have to go with the most expensive option either. So have a look when you're selecting, when you found your property and you need to instruct a solicitor, really have a look on Google, have a look on all different recommendations from people on, there are many property forums on Facebook and social media. You know, ask for recommendations of who people have used and then compare the fees against each other. I generally find that solicitors who charge a mediocre fee, middle of the range, are actually generally okay, and we don't have any issues with them. For example, we use a company in the Blackburn area who can cover all the northwest. They're called Foley's. Their link's in the comments of this video, and they're a really friendly small team, but they're not overrun with work and they're quite good. And the fee that they charge is quite reasonable. So we recommend them to our clients. So there are a few ways that you can find out about solicitors. You can ask, you know, how many offices they have. You can see if they have any Google reviews. Not all solicitors have review platforms. But most importantly, you might be limited in what solicitors you can use if you've purchased on a mortgage, because mortgage lenders will have a panel of solicitors. So that means that they will only work with a number of solicitors that they have pre-approved, and that might be because they'll only work with solicitors that have X amount of directors, X amount of offices, X amount of client or turnover. So some lenders have a much bigger panel list than others, but you can't select a solicitor who isn't on the panel for your lender if you're buying with a mortgage. So that's a really good way to find out what solicitors you can use, a starting point. When you've agreed your mortgage and it's been offered by your lender through the bank or through the mortgage broker or direct lender, ask them for a copy of their solicitor's panel and you can go down. I would strongly recommend using a solicitor local to the property because they know the area. they will have a better relationship with the local authority, which might speed up the searches, which is a big part of the conveyancing process, because that's what can cause big delays. So have a look at that panel, find a solicitor that's the most local to the property that you're purchasing, and then have a little bit more due diligence on them. Look at reviews, have a look at their prices, and give them a phone call. See if they answer, or if you can get to speak to the person you need to speak to, or drop them an email just to make an inquiry. And that will give you a good indication of the standard of service you're going to receive before you formally instruct them. Now, solicitors have to follow a particular process when they take your instruction, so it's in compliance to their regulator. Usually the Solicitors Regulation Authority are their regulators. So there's lots to think about when appointing a solicitor. Don't just focus on price. Don't just instantly, as we say in the UK, jump into bed with the first solicitor that you see because their prices seem attractive. Have a look at the panel, the list on the panel of your lender. Then find out the solicitor that's local to the property you're purchasing. Get some recommendations from from the forums that you're on online, and contact the firm just to get an understanding of the service you're going to receive. And at that point, you can instruct the solicitor and tell the estate agent who you're using so they can send over the paperwork and get the process started. So today's video is a little bit briefer than the rest of the videos. Do have a look at the links in the comments to this video, and join us on our next video, video number 4. I think I made a mistake in the last video and called this one number 4, but never mind. This is video number 3. Join us for video number 4, where we will be looking at refurbishing properties if you've gone down that avenue. So this is 6 steps to becoming a non-resident landlord in the UK, and you've been watching Harrison at Assured Estate Agents. We'll see you in the next video.